this is Jason Leia here, and this is my top 11 rankings of the Star Wars franchise, from worst to best. Coming up at number 11, we have Solo: A Star Wars Story. This to me is a really boring film. Its characters are not anything to remember by. In fact, I really even forgot Woody Harrelson was in this movie, and I forgot the actor's name who plays Han Solo. The action scenes, I don't even remember them now. I haven't seen the movie in a while, but even something like The Rise of Skywalker, I always remember those action sequences. Here, there was like nothing special about this movie. Nothing to remember by, and there's just nothing to latch onto me in terms of a negative or even a positive side. So that's why it's at number 11 on my list. Coming up at number 10, we have Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. This is a bad movie, though it has a lot of unintentionally funny moments, like Anakin Skywalker wishing away his feelings, not liking Sam. The whole romance subplot is horrible, but the situation, the way they're acted out, is just so quotable. It's just a joy to see. And the whole story is just uninteresting, but what's in that story makes up for it. And what is good in the movie, like the action sequences, some of the special effects, and Ewan McGregor, and a hilarious flying Yoda with a lightsaber. This movie's like bad, but I put it over Solo because it's just so fun to watch. Coming up at number 9, we have The Last Jedi. Now, the themes and ideas in the movie are interesting. They could work. It takes the series in a different direction. The visuals are great, the acting was pretty good, the action was spectacular, the special effects are a joy to see. The pacing is fine, but the story and execution of everything was just really sloppy. I loved this movie when it came out, but over the years I come to really have mixed feelings about it. Is it a horrible movie? No. In my opinion, it's not. And a lot of people are just they're just overhyping the fact that this is a bad movie. In fact, it's just like a mediocre film that I can understand if you like or dislike. And that's why it's at number 9. Coming up at number 8, we have The Rise of Skywalker. This is a much more fun, a much better directed, better paced film. Fast, lightning in the bottle, the action is great, the visuals are spectacular. It doesn't have big theme ideas to override itself, but the story it still shows was convoluted, and the reveal that they have were just really rushed. It could have worked if they were given more time or another movie, but they had to cram everything in after The Last Jedi, and it kind of showed. I was still able to follow the plot along fine, I was able to enjoy the ride, and in my opinion, it is much better than The Last Jedi because of it, but still I can understand why some people may dislike it, and that's why it's at number 8. Coming up at number 7, we have The Phantom Menace. While I did say some things about The Phantom Menace, it was still an overall really fun movie to watch and experience from time to time. The Darth Maul fight scenes and the special effects, the whole Qui-Gon Jinn and Ewan McGregor, Obi-Wan Kenobi storyline was entertaining. The pod race was excellent. The use of practical effects made the film feel more real and lived in. And I did enjoy seeing Palpatine manipulating Princess Queen Amidala. This was still plagued by a lot of story problems, but that's why it's at number 7, because the good mostly outweighs the bad. Coming up at number 6, we have Revenge of the Sith. This felt like the Star Wars movie that George Lucas wanted to tell this entire time. It felt the more lived in, it felt the more satisfactory satisfying. It felt like it had a good conclusion. The characters felt much better. The acting was much better. Story and dialogue was much better, even though there were a few parts to it. I still was able to find the emotional beats really satisfying, and Order 66 is one of the best moments in Star Wars history, and the lightsaber duels here were really fantastic. I had a great time with this one. You should definitely check this out. Number 5, we have Rogue One, a Star Wars story. This is a war film. This is the first Star Wars film that I watched that I felt like I was watching a war movie. The characters were not the most interesting, yes, but they had much better dialogue and chemistry with one another than in the new trilogy or the prequels. They felt like they were soldiers in war. The whole movie felt dirty and grounded. The stormtroopers felt menacing. The environments were amazing. The special effects were great. It had great pacing to it. It was just a fantastic film to view. And while it is not the most character-driven movie out of Star Wars movies, it was still a great time at the theaters, and I'm really happy to see it. And you should definitely check this out. Number 4, we have The Force Awakens. This is the most anticipated of all the Star Wars films. This was the most sorted after of all the Star Wars movies when it was coming out. Everybody was really excited for it, and when it came out, everybody loved it. And still to this day, there's a few group of people that still really enjoy that movie, and still a lot of people watch it to this day. Just that the sequels to the movie kind of ruined its importance to the entire story in a way, but overall I still enjoy this film a whole lot. And while I did think it went down many notches as my favorite of the entire Star Wars series, it was still a really enjoyable film, and I do recommend it to you all. Coming up at number 3, we have Return of the Jedi. This was the final film in the Star Wars franchise until George Lucas wanted to do prequels, but it felt like it had a satisfying conclusion. All the stories and characters are now at their final acts. The whole film is like a race against time. It has some of the best space battles, and Darth Vader is a fantastic character here, and I really love how his character arc ended here with Luke Skywalker and their relationship. It was emotionally satisfying, and it was a great conclusion to the original series. Number 2, we have the original Star Wars in 1977. This was way ahead of its time. This was an incredible film to witness back in this day. Everybody has Star Wars fever, and to this day, its impact still remains relevant. It is one of the best acted of its time, some of the best visual effects, some of the best characters like Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, Princess Leia, Chewbacca. We remember all of them because the film had a great story to tell. It had good messages in it if you're able to look closely in the film. It's not just a typical action film. It's not just a typical space opera. It was a great film to view, and it was a masterclass of its time. But of course, number 1, it's The Empire Strikes Back. It did everything the first movie did, but improved upon it. It took what could have been a negative for people from that first movie, and it really amped everything up to the next level. The characters are much more fleshed out and much more interesting this time around. The action is much more intense. The pacing is exhilarating. The battles are much more exciting. And the addition to Yoda was awesome. He was a great character, and I loved his training and moments with Luke Skywalker, who has my favorite character arc in this entire series, which is here in Empire Strikes Back. This is a great film, one of the best films ever made, And if you haven't seen Empire Strikes Back and you're a Star Wars fan, you're doing yourself a disservice. Go watch it. You would not regret it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment, and I'll see you guys next time.